next piece of news, and I think honestly, this is arguably some of the biggest news this year. I want to say, yeah, I want to say this is some of the biggest news potentially affecting the manga and anime industry this year out of everything that we've talked about so far. And it is Cyber Agent. So Cyber Agent is one of the huge. It is pretty much like one of the main, if not the main, uh, umbrella company that covers like everything related to stuff like streaming, for instance, like Abiba TV, games. It owns like side games, right? And as well as like some other like manga, like digital platform kind of stuff like that. So it is a huge umbrella company covering all forms of media. And it announced on Wednesday that it has established a new business unit called Game AI Lab, which will focus on researching and developing methods for game development using generative artificial intelligence and large language models.
Fun.
Um, yeah, this generating graphics and characters, natural language processing, blah blah, reinforcement learning, voice processing and synthesis, level design, generating video, 3D animation, music, and sound effects, and all through AI. Um, this is like a boost. Essentially, they're pouring more money into its previous AI lab research and development group department that it created in 2016. Um, but yeah, it's they're obviously moving this into animation stuff as well games. So they now have a game AI lab and an animation AI lab, both obviously which work in their respective medium to do AI stuff. So I do think that this is again arguably the most important news of this year
Yeah.
because this means that not just like any studio or any like company, but literally one of the biggest media entertainment related companies in Japan is taking steps to be like, hey, we're gonna try to pump out AI anime and games now. If you want to stop us, try it. That is business. And I hope that the people running it and the people on top are thinking of using it as helpful, productive elements to speed up the animation process alongside human workers who can benefit from that. But I feel like the actual direction it'll end up heading in is we'll just get like pure AI generated anime and games that'll be like pushed to us in the form of like experimental OVA and stuff like that, and it'll just be like, do you like it? No, okay, we'll go back to the drawing board and then we'll just push out another pile of shit like a year later. Do you like this
Yep.
one? No, okay, blah blah
Yep.
blah, and it'll just be like a never ending hell of like people complaining about it, being like, no, this is not what we fucking want, and then being like, are you sure? We can make more AI like
Yeah, I
anime.
mean we've literally already seen how this goes with
Netflix stuff, yeah,
Pixiv and
yeah,
DL
with
site. Like,
yeah,
if as
and we
soon
literally
as
have the
you
AI anime thing with the Wit Studios
Yep.
incident, right? And
Yep.
Netflix,
Yep.
yeah,
As soon as you like give the ability to like monetize AI fucking slop, it's like, well, dude, like what are you gonna do?
yeah,
Try? What are you gonna do? Put effort into it? Like why?
yeah.
You can
Make
literally you
give
can
money to
literally
humans.
you can literally monetize nothing. Literal
Yeah,
nothingness. Like you can monetize the labor of nothing.
yeah,
Like what's like why would they stop? You know?
yeah,
Unless there's actual legislation put into place, it's like there is no incentive for them to learn or improve. They just continue shitting it out
yeah.
until you either give up and like stop even like fucking interacting with the medium
Hmm.
or the government
You
steps in.
just yeah.
Like,
This is speaking of that actually about the regulation stuff. That's an interesting point because again, um, on the U.S. side, on the Western side, the United States Senators Chris Coons, Marsha Blackburn, Amy Klobuchar, and Tom Tillis introduced the draft of a new proposed bill on Thursday named the Nurture Originals, Foster Art, and Keep Entertainment sale Safe, also known as No Fakes Act, which aims to prohibit the use of individuals' digitally replicated voices and likenesses or appearance without their consent. So, part of this was obviously pushed by stuff like SAG-AFTRA and like other unions as well. But there's also been an explosion and people kind of doing like AI song covers and like using AI voices without consent.
Yeah,
Obviously,
see,
presidents.
once the music industry gets involved, then the
Yeah,
government steps in. Like
yeah. And
I called this a while ago.
yeah. Voice actors such as Allegra Clark, Erica Lindbeck, and Richard Epcar, among many others, have vocally opposed such replications done against their consent. Obviously, stuff for famous singers have had their AI cover songs online as well. Um, Obviously, to some extent, companies themselves are trying to get in on it. Obviously, Cyber Agent, but also places such as Sony Music Entertainment, who launched a new audiobook app named Yomibito Plus in March earlier this year, which features classic works of Japanese literature read by synthesized voice of three voice actors, replicated with the AI technology from the company Koifon, including the replicated voice of the late voice actor Utsumi Kenji, who passed away in 20. So it's like we're
Yuck.
having a lot of these complications, so to say, as well. And I do agree with Near that it'll be a combination of regulation and we'll just we'll just have to be pushed back. But I'm just so tired of hearing people being like, "Oh, you should just be grateful for the fact they're even like making this new content." I don't want new content in this media. And when I'm, reading manga, when I'm watching anime, when I'm playing games, that's slop. Sorry, I don't. Even if it's new content, I don't want it. I don't want it, and especially if it's new slop that's new AI anime, especially if it's new AI covers of voice covers and stuff like that that are used without consent. I don't want it. I do not want it on my feed. I do not want it. So I just hope that this doesn't go south too fast.